as we do a pledge of allegiance in a moment of silence.
Flag.
Flag, please. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America,
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
and
which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God, indivisible,
and justice for all.
liberty, justice for all.
Please remain standing as we give a moment of silence to our veterans, both here and abroad, both past and present, and also for our first responders and healthcare workers during this pandemic. Please be seated. Okay. First item on the agenda, we have a public hearing via Zoom with Eversource Energy for a new pole location. I'm going to open up the public hearing. Okay, and with us from Eversource is Jessica Elder. Jessica?
Everyone, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Okay, great.
All right, floor is yours, Jessica.
Oh, okay. This is my first time with the town of Dartmouth, and thank you for having me this evening. Again, Jessica Elder from Eversource. I'm the new right-of-way agent that just in the New Bedford service area that replaced Donna Rosa. Some of you may be familiar with her. She's been was in the company
Just
for
a
quite
little.
Just a little, yeah, right, really. I'm sure she's enjoying retirement right now. So Eversource is proposing to install a pole labeled 413 over 6.5, including an anchor, and that pole is going to be approximately 98 feet southwest of an existing pole 413 over 7. This work is being done for the customer at 23 Summer Street. And again, that is with an anchor.
All right.
And I think that's about it. Pretty simple, straightforward.
Okay. All right. As this is a hearing, is there anybody regarding this issue that wants to speak in favor of this issue? Is there anybody who would like to speak against this issue? Okay. Board members, do you have any questions? All right, seeing that there's no questions, no pros, no cons, I want to close the hearing. Hearing is now closed. Board pleasure.
To approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. Gracie. On the motion, any questions? Roll call vote. Mr. Tattlebaum?
Yes.
Mr. Mickelson?
Yes.
Mr. Herron?
Yes.
Mr. Gracie?
Yes.
And the chair votes in favor.
Mr. Chair, I don't know if you want to have the board vote to stamp the approval.
Okay.
It's signatures are required, but we can have it stamped.
Okay, we also have the warrant to do. My mistake here. Okay, do we have a motion for Mr. McGinnis to stamp the order of approval for the pole location for Eversource?
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. Herron. On the motion, any questions? Being none, roll call vote. Mr. Tattlebaum?
Yes.
Mr. Mickelson?
Yes.
Mr. Herron?
Yes.
Mr. Gracie?
Yes.
And the chair votes in favor. Okay, thank you. Good job, Jessica.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great evening. Thank
You
you.
too now. Okay, before we go to the next item, we have the signing of the warrant. Do I have a motion from somebody to approve the warrant and to have Mr. McGinnis sign the warrant with our stamp on behalf?
So
Motion
Second.
made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by,
I made the motion, Mr.
okay, Mr. Gracie made the motion, seconded by Mr. Mickelson. On the motion, any questions? Being none, roll call vote. Mr. Tattlebaum?
Yes.
Mr. Mickelson? Mr. Herron?
Yes.
Mr. Gracie?
Yes.
The chair votes in favor. Okay. All right, next we have a 6:32. We have a one-day event, the Police Relief Association concert at the Stack House. Mr. Medeiros, you are here.
I'm here.
Okay. Mr. Maderas, just describe the event, what the event is for, tickets, time, place.
This is our annual concert that we have had for the past 20 years. It was normally run at the UMass Dartmouth campus. The last year we had it was at the Stackhouse Feast Grounds, and it's just a fundraising concert for the Dartmouth Police Relief Association and the Dartmouth Police Athletic League. Both those organizations donate to the community in different aspects and also benefit the Dartmouth police officers.
Okay, and tickets will be available.
Tickets are going to be available at the gate, and some were available during our fundraising period. This year, we're going to have a Journey tribute band, which will be playing there. We'll have food and beverages available, and bounce houses for the kids, free face painting for the children. It's a family event. Like I say, it's been ongoing for some 20 years now.
Okay, and this event is just not for just small town girls, correct?
You're right, Mr. McDonald.
Okay, there you go. Little Journey reference there for all you old timers. Okay, and tickets are $10, and it is on what day?
It's going to be on Saturday, August 21st, and 12 more days. There's off-street parking there at the Stackhouse grounds on Faith Street in South Dartmouth. Again, it'll have the same traditions. We give out glow sticks to the kids and adults if they want them, and Mardi Gras beads. It's a very festive type of atmosphere, and it's a great family event.
Excellent. Board members have any questions?
To approve.
Mr. Gracie?
Yes, just for clarification and correctness, I know it doesn't matter because the fee is waived, but the application says there's no entertainment, and yet the entertainment boxes are checked, except for the one that says, do you have entertainment?
There's two applications. One is for the Stackhouse Club for alcohol, and the other is for the Police Release Association for the one-day entertainment license. And I think that's the difference.
Yeah, but the first one says no entertainment, and yet some of the boxes for entertainment are checked.
Okay, we'll look into that and correct it if it's inaccurate.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
would tickets be available at Stackhouse for people to pick up?
Stackhouse, there'll be tickets available at the gate the day of the event. There's no
Okay.
tickets for sale at the Stackhouse per se prior to the event.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve with any corrections.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
All right, second made by Mr. Gracie. I saw his mouth move first. Okay, on the motion, any questions? Roll call vote. Mr. Tattlebaum?
Yes.
Mr. Mickle?
Yes, gladly.
Mr. Harron?
Yes.
Mr. Gracie?
Yes.
Chair votes in favor. Okay, terrific. Good luck, Richard.
Thank you.
Have a great,
Next item on the agenda is 634. We have a new common vic license, the Hillcrest Ice Cream, located at on Old Fall River Road. And we have David and Kenny Mikowski. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Hi, can you hear us okay?
Yes, very much so.
Okay, I am David. This is my wife Kelly Michalski. We're looking to have a common vic license for a ice cream trailer, which is going to be permanently situated on the property. It's about, I don't know if you guys got the drawing ahead of time. It's going to be 150 feet off the main road of 332 Old Fall River Road. It's got off-street parking. And it's all part of our farm and our mother and father-in-law's Hillcrest Alpaca Farm.
Okay. Okay. I initially had a concern because of the zoning, but once the building inspector signed off on it, my concerns disappeared. So that I have none over there. Just out of curiosity, we're not going to have any alpaca flavored ice cream, are we?
We might.
Okay. Well, you never know. I mean, all sorts of options are coming out there now, so you never know.
It'll be smooth.
Okay. Board members have any questions?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Mickelson. Is there a
Second.
second? Seconded by Mr. Gracie. On the motion, any questions? Being none, roll call vote. Mr. Tattlebaum,
Yes.
Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. Harron,
Yes.
Mr. Gracie,
Yes.
and I vote in favor, yes. Good luck.
So thank you very much.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, we have the one-day event for the Portuguese American Social Club. We have Renee.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
we can.
Sorry, I lost my voice, so you're not going to hear me too well.
Okay, this appears to be an event, well, I'll help you out here. This appears to be an event, a fundraiser for the Gary Barbosa Memorial Scholarship. It's a second annual golf tournament followed by an outside catered dinner raffle at the Portuguese American Social Club. The scholarship goes to selected Dartmouth High School football players. The event is Friday, August 20th. A maximum amount of people expected is 100. The admission charge is $110 for the golf and also, I believe, also the event at the social club, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
Where are they playing golf?
at the
Wheeling
Wheeling
City.
City Golf Course.
Okay.
Well. Okay. Board members have any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. Gracie. On the motion, any questions? Being none. Roll call vote. Mr. Tattlebaum,
Yes.
Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. Harron,
Yes.
Mr. Gracie,
Yes.
and the chair votes in favor. All
Thank
right,
you.
good luck.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Okay, that concludes the appointments. Now we have under new business. We have an appointment to be made to the Cultural Center. Anthony Moralia.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can also see you.
Oh, good.
All right, so,
I've officially become a board member without even running.
well, this is an appointment, so just give us a little bit of background and why do you want to join the Cultural Council?
Well, I'm sure some of you gentlemen were around, but I was actually one of the very first Cultural Council members. I was also involved in the start of the Dartmouth Town Hall Gallery, acted on behalf of the town to hang exhibitions, to invite artists to exhibit there. I've actually been on the Cultural Council, I believe, 2 or 3 times previous to this.
And that's
And
why
I've been asked to come back. Why? I don't know why.
well, sometimes coming back to good thing is a good thing, but I do remember the name. I do remember your previous appointment. So board members have any questions?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. Harron. On the motion, any questions? Being none, roll call vote. Mr. Tattlebaum,
Yes.
Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. Harron,
Yes.
Mr. Gracie.
Yes.
Chair votes in favor. Congratulations.
Thank you very much and have a great meeting.
Welcome back.
for serving.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome back.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda, we have the Veterans Board 9/11 Memorial Event. And with us is Matthew Brule, our Veteran Service Officer. Matthew, you have the floor. And you need to unmute yourself, Matthew.
Terribly sorry about that, gentlemen. How are we doing tonight?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you for your time. So you're right, this is in regards to our 9/11 memorial. And in speaking with Chris Pereira, the board chair, he he wanted me to express to the board, the importance to recognize the historic attacks on our nation, and it's vital to remember our nation and honor the victims, including Dartmouth native Leah Oliver. It's also essential for the community to come together on this day, especially given, just coming out of COVID and things of that nature. I've invited the Police Honor Guard, the Fire Honor Guard, the American Legion, VFW, obviously the Select Boards, the prior VSO, Roy Oliveira, to say a few words, and Mr. Gerald Enos, who lost his son in Operation Enduring Freedom. I've requested assistance from Ian Flint in regards to the national anthem. And in regards to the event itself, will be held on Saturday, September 11th, 2021 at 11 a.m., rain or shine. And it will be held at Memorial Stadium.
Perfect. Okay, we don't need to approve this, do we? Or?
No.
All right, so we'll just, we'll mark it on the calendar. We'll have it marked on the town webpage. And we'll promote it via social media.
Great. Thank
I've
you,
already
sir.
seen it out there several times.
Great. Thank you, sir.
So we will keep doing the utmost. Members who wish to attend, please respond to Mr. Brule via email or phone call. Let him know when you'll be attending. And that's pretty much it. Well, great. Excellent.
I appreciate your time, gentlemen.
Thank you very much for your matter on this. We appreciate it, and we appreciate the Veterans
Great job.
Board doing something about this.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda, we have the letter from 3 individuals, specifically regarding the school mascot and the Wampanoag. It's called the Wampanoag letter, but it's actually from 3 individuals, 2 of whom are members of the Aquinnah, or the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhead, or the Aquinnah, as is now known. For the record, I will read this into the record. It's dated Monday, July 12th, and it was sent to Dr. Jenkins, school department. That's sent to the school committee. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was sent to Dr. Jenkins and Kathleen Emerald, the school committee, Ross Tebow, the principal of the high school, Dr. Gifford, the superintendent of schools, James Kiley, the business administrator, Kathleen Genther, I believe she's the assistant superintendent, Kelly Bloom, Lily Chamberlain of the schools, Shelley Scott, Elizabeth Murphy, Diane Masseri, and Mark Hayes. The subject is the public/tribal comment period regarding the Dartmouth Indians name and logo. Members of the Equality and Diversity Subcommittee, we the undersigned as concerned citizens object to the manner and process in which the Dartmouth School Committee's appointed Equality and Diversity Subcommittee has operated with respect to the agenda item of removing the Dartmouth Indians name and logo from the Dartmouth public school system. Specifically, to date, the subcommittee has failed to meaningfully and publicly engage the 2 federally recognized tribes in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The subcommittee has also failed to provide an opportunity for public comment. In addition to the 2 procedural concerns highlighted above, the subcommittee has also failed to invite public testimony from individuals or entities who are supportive of maintaining the Dartmouth Indians name and logo. Even more troubling, it appears that each guest speaker invited to offer testimony before the subcommittee has been cherry-picked to fit a narrative that supports the removal of the Dartmouth Indians name and logo. First, the subcommittee was not publicly engaged either in either the 2 federally recognized tribes in the Commonwealth, the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhead, Aquinnah, and the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. Both federally recognized tribes have tremendous historic ties to the land where the town of Dartmouth was established. Both tribes are the only federally recognized tribes by the United States government, despite members of this subcommittee calling for potential outreach to certain local and unrecognized tribes with 0 legal recognition status. It is imperative that the subcommittee formally engage the 2 federally recognized tribes before issuing recommendations to the Dartmouth School Committee. While we in our individual tribal member capacity cannot speak on behalf of our tribal government or council, 2 of the undersigned to this letter are federally recognized members of the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhead, Aquinnah, and have been in a multi-year dialogue with certain tribal leaders on this specific issue. We invite Dartmouth town officials and members of the subcommittee to engage in a formal dialogue with the two federally recognized tribes in an effort to preserve and honor the local indigenous history in Dartmouth. Second, while the subcommittee's meetings have been conducted remotely via live stream due to COVID-19 guidelines pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 18-25, the subcommittee has failed to provide an opportunity for any public comment. There is currently no mechanism for public comment in person or electronically. As you know, the Commonwealth ended its COVID-19 state of emergency last month. We urge the subcommittee and the school committee to begin holding in-person meetings that are open to the public, in which members of the public will have an opportunity to offer comment on this topic. As taxpayers and residents, the public is entitled to engage in a fully informed and public debate on this issue. Residents of the town and the alumni must have a seat at the table. We are further troubled by the June 22nd, 2021 subject testimony offered by Dr. Laurel Davis Delano, who discouraged the subcommittee from seeking public issue on the issue. Dr. Davis Delano stated, "It is not a good idea for schools or towns to survey their students about this issue or survey the community. And the reason why is when that happens, it implies that the non-native people should be making decisions about making representations that are not them." See Equality and Diversity Subcommittee meeting June 22nd, 2021, YouTube video stream, timestamp 36 minutes, 38 seconds. Dr. Davis Delano continued, "It is almost impossible to educate a community, and here's why. You can't get them there. It's really hard to educate people on an issue in general. See Equality and Diversity, same meeting, timestamp 38, 30 seconds. We vehemently disagree with Dr. Davis Delano. The public must be fully engaged on this issue and have an opportunity to attend in-person public meetings to provide comment. Before a recommendation is delivered to the school committee, we also disagree with Dr. Davis Delano that it is impossible to educate our community. The people of Dartmouth are well-educated, respectful, open-minded, and more than capable of exercising their First Amendment right to free speech in an open and public venue. Third, the subcommittee has also failed to present a full and accurate account of the history of Dartmouth logo and not corrected the record about the author of said logo. Mr. Clyde Andrews, undersigned, is a graduate of Dartmouth High School of 1974, Dartmouth Football Hall of Famer, and more importantly, a member of the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhead Equina. In or around 1974, as a member of the Dartmouth High School football team, Mr. Andrews was tasked with designing a profile of the American Indian that would serve as a permanent logo to replace a cartoon character of the Indian, which was placed on the Letterman jackets of then successful football team. Mr. Andrews designed an iteration of the Dartmouth Indians logo that is currently used throughout the school department today. The logo was designed to respect and honor the region's indigenous people. These facts have not been entered into the record of the subcommittee, despite cookie-cutter testimony that has been offered by others. The manner in which the subcommittee is operated has not reflected full and accurate account of the history of the formation of the logo and the involvement of Mr. Andrews. In fact, Dr. Davis Delano's June 22nd, 2021 testimony regarding the logo formation couldn't be further from reality as it relates to the case here in Dartmouth. Dr. Davis Delano stated it involves non-native people, usually white people, in origins of native mascots, taking somebody else's identity, another group's identity and their culture, so representations of native mascots or representations of Native American people, and yet they created the non-native people, and they're used by non-native people. Generally speaking, they're used for the purpose of non-native people. That is like the epidemic of, appropriation. See the same diversity meeting, 35 minutes, 35 seconds. Dr. Davis Delano and members of the subcommittee failed to correct the record regarding the origins of the logo in Dartmouth designed by Mr. Andrews, a tribal member. The subcommittee should invite the oral or written testimony of Mr. Andrews and other federally recognized tribal members who currently and previously resided in Dartmouth and who have attended Dartmouth public schools. The public deserves access to this unique point of view in necessary If necessary, we fully anticipate a number of additional tribe members with ties to the town of Dartmouth to come forward soon on this topic. Fourth, while the issue of whether or not to remove the Dartmouth Indians name and logo has been informally debated online and in person for the past several years, we remain committed to working collaboratively with the subcommittee and the Dartmouth School Committee during this process. We believe in respectful dialogue. However, the federally recognized tribes, the public, and the Dartmouth alumni must have a seat at the table. As was reported in the local media on May 25th, 2021, subcommittee members prefer to host a public forum. See Diversity Subcommittee Plans Potential Forum on Indian Logo, Dartmouth Week, May 25th, 2021, by Sandra Quadras Bowles. We encourage the subcommittee or school committee to follow through with such a public forum prior to the subcommittee or school committee vote on this matter. Rather than cancel our Indigenous history and imagery, we implore the subcommittee to work with us to enhance and honor our history and to continue to ensure that the town of Dartmouth remains an inclusive and respectful community for all, including those with which we may disagree with. On that note, we believe the Equality and Diversity Subcommittee should endeavor to promote a diversity of all viewpoints on this matter. Not once has the subcommittee engaged a proponent of keeping the Dartmouth Indians name and logo. That must change. The subcommittee and school committee must ensure that this process is transparent and open to the public and federally recognized tribes for comment. The subcommittee and school committee must also ensure that the public record regarding this design of this logo is corrected and fully informed. While we hope to avoid further action on this matter, we reserve all rights to ensure that the process underway by the subcommittee and school committee in accordance with the applicable local, state, and federal laws and federal tribal treaties. Sincerely, Clyde Andrews, member of the tribe of Gayhead Equina, designer of the logo, Dartmouth High School, 1974. Krista Pereira, town meeting chairman, Veterans Advisory Board. Jacob Ventura, member of the Wampanoag Gayhead Equina, former finance committee member at Dartmouth High School class of 2005. I feel to know that Mr. Pereira was Dartmouth High School class of 1998. And then it was CC to the tribe chairwoman and chief of staff, Dartmouth School Committee, and the select board. Also, the legislature, Montigny, Senator Montigny, and Representative Markey. That's the letter, gentlemen. I can attest to the fact that the logo was designed to emulate the Eastern Woodlands Native American. I can tell you that most of the tribal headdress, when you see the crown of feathers, that's Western. There are no trees out in the desert. If a Eastern Woodland Indian would be wearing one of those, walking through the woods, that headdress would be ripped off very quickly. Therefore, that's why you see the feathers hanging down. That's what I learned when I was in school and afterwards. I also learned recently that the Cleveland Indians, I know, have changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians. Prior to being the Cleveland Indians, they were the Cleveland Spiders. There was a Native American who signed and played for the Cleveland Spiders. To honor him, Cleveland changed their name to the Cleveland Indians. I guess where they went wrong is when they had the characterization of when they started getting Chief Wahoo. But the name was designed, the name was to put in honor of their first Native American that played professional baseball. And if I remember correctly, the Washington Redskins logo was designed by a Native American. So, thoughts, Mr. Tattlebaum?
I recognize certainly that we all have very strong opinions about not only the mascot and logo, but also the process of what we do and what the school committee does and how the decisions are making in school committee. I think it's somewhat inappropriate for us to discuss it all until we know what our legal status is in the process. And I think we should save this discussion with the meeting and to make sure that we are following, or we decide to change the legal process. But right now, to me, it's unclear what our authority is, what our involvement is, and what our comment should be until it's pretty clear that we know where we stand.
Well, we received a copy of the letter, so it was
Yep.
read into the record. It was requested that it be read into the record.
Yep.
School committee has total charge on this issue. Complete. However, we have a voice as Dartmouth citizens to voice our opinion.
Well, our discussion here is not, we're not Dartmouth citizens if we have a discussion.
Well, any
I'm
discussion.
not saying it's not inappropriate.
And no, I don't think so. I think it is, because when you have a committee that refuses to get public input, public input is very important on issues completely. And there should be public issues. There should be public input. And that's how I feel.
I have no problem with that, but if that's what we decide our authority is, and that's our council says it's okay, then that should be our decision. But until that time, I think it's inappropriate that we discuss our own personal feelings about the logo or what we think we should do about what the school committee is doing and how we should direct, because I don't think it's unclear. And I'm not abdicating responsibility or abdicating what our authority may not be. I just think it's a process that we need to follow and be in front of, as opposed to not understanding the process and where we stand and what we should be doing about it.
I disagree, but Mr. Harron.
I'm grateful that you read the letter into the record, and I appreciate there's more transparency on this subject.
Mr. Mickelson?
Similar comments. The letter has to be read. It's now in the record. The other thing to be very careful about is that it is, at this point, it is not in our purview as a select board to get involved in any of the decision making at this point. I encourage that we have I encourage the school committee to have a few more meetings, to whoever I think that they would feel would be proper to make comments, both for and against, like I think we would do as a select board, and I welcome that. But at this point, it is in their hands.
It is, but we still can have an opinion. Anyone else? Mr. Tattelbaum?
I would, at this point, make a motion that we write a letter to the select board, should we all vote for it, that we encourage open discussion, open meetings, so the process becomes as valid as and open as possibly can be, and leave it at that.
Motion made by Mr. Tattelbaum,
Second by me.
seconded by Mr.
Just
Harron.
to clarify, he said to draft a letter to the select board. I think you meant the
School
school.
committee. I know what he
Yes.
meant.
Yes, he did.
I was just testing it, Sean, thanks. Sorry, thank you.
On the motion, any questions? So the motion would be to send a letter to the school committee, CCing also Dr. Gifford, and encouraging the school committee to have public
To be in-
opinions.
To be inclusive.
To be inclusive and include public opinion on this issue.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. I'm sorry. On the motion, any questions? Okay, Mr. Tattelbaum?
Yes.
The screen changed, so excuse me. Mr. Tattelbaum, Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. Harron,
Yes.
Mr. Gracie,
Yes.
chair votes in favor.
We look forward to it.
It's the beginning, not the end of the process, that's for sure.
Yep.
Okay, that concludes new business.
A meeting with the school committee in next month?
We generally, in preparation for a fall town meeting, we have a joint meeting with the school committee and finance committee.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Old business, do we have anything under COVID, hopefully?
No, nothing new under COVID other than the town continues to follow the CDC guidelines recommending masks for both vaccinated and unvaccinated. And we monitor, work closely with the state. And if anything changes, we will inform the public as soon as possible. But for now, that is the recommendation from CDC.
Okay. I'm also going to bring up the vote that was taken 2 weeks ago regarding having in-person meetings. At this time, I'm going to review that and we will let you know whether or not that's going to be true or not. We have one member who has respiratory problems, and I want to make sure that each one of us and all those who may attend be protected as best as possible. So we may not go to in-person meetings next meeting. I will make that decision along with Mr. McGinnis and Mr. Michaud, and you will be notified accordingly beforehand. Mr. Talabon.
I think in light of the changes and the issues over the last 4 or 5 days, I think it's a good idea to review it from all aspects and make a decision. Things have changed dramatically in the last week.
Well, more so is if you look at the current CDC color chart as it was in July and where it is as of over the weekend, a lot of the country has gone red. So,
yep.
Meaning where the COVID exists or the Delta variant exists. So, it's already rearing its head in my home as to exposure and going out. And I don't want to be the vehicle to have any type of problem in my house or any place that I go to. So, and I'm sure I know you guys don't either. So we'll take a look at this and we will let you know accordingly. Bliss Corner.
No new updates.
Lake Nokichoke.
No new updates either on that.
Okay, seeing that we have no minutes, we do have one thing that was brought up today, and I don't know if Mr. McGinnis has any information that was sent to him. I had requested Mr. Harding to send information regarding an event that they'll be holding at the Dartmouth Historical Society is holding. They're going to be having a memorial celebration for Dan Sosha this Sunday. And it'll be, I guess they're going to be unveiling a plaque as part of that ceremony. Can we also have a proclamation made recognizing the contributions of Mr. Sosha to the town and to the Dartmouth Historical and Art Society? You can create it, have it stamped, and have it delivered for their event on Sunday. Is that all right with the board?
Yeah, we don't have, I don't believe.
All right,
I
thank
think-
you.
Great idea.
I appreciate that.
Great idea.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else before the board? Mr. Harron?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, today I toured the Bullard Wellness Center, and it's a beautiful building, and it's not being used. I was wondering if we could put that on the agenda next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we can take a look at it. I'm not sure what our agenda is for the 23rd. I think that one's getting kind of packed. I believe we have, I'm not sure. I thought we had something big on the 23rd.
Waterway Commission. Waterway Commission.
The waterways, yeah.
With waterways, I think we're gonna have DPW in as well.
Okay, all right. So maybe what we'll do is, when are we looking for the school committee? Probably the 27th?
Probably the September 13th or the 27th.
Okay. Whichever, between the 13th and the 27th, whichever one the school committee will flip the wellness center over to that at that time.
Okay.
So maybe another question, Mr. McGinnis, do we have any prospective tenants for the building?
We're looking at the use of the building and perhaps maybe relocating some either programming there or using the space for town services. So as an extension of the Council on Aging as well. So we've been working internally. We've had discussions with departments here. We're also planning on using some of the space in the basement for emergency management services for storage because it's a basement. So we do have some plans in the works to recommend to the board.
All right, great, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Gracie,
Yeah, could I suggest that the Friends of the Elderly be invited whenever at that meeting, since they paid for most of the everything?
we have a letter from the Friends regarding the Bullet Center on file. And
Yeah.
we'll discuss that letter along with, I believe we also have a letter from the Council on Aging Board regarding that too, so. And we'll have that available. If you don't have it, Mr. McGinnis, can you get those two letters out to the board members?
I will do that.
Okay, thank you.
I think we should have their presence also, besides sending letters.
Yeah, and I think we all got letters from,
Maria.
Maria.
From, yes, yeah, from the Dartmouth Friends. And I didn't see anything in my box this morning for any other letters, but.
No, I think the Council on Aging sent it sometime last week or late last week, if I'm not mistaken, so. Okay, anything else before the board?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. Gracie. On the motion, there better be no questions. Roll call vote, Mr. Tattlebaum,
Yes.
Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. Herron,
Yes.
Mr. Gracie,
Yes.
chair votes in favor. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much and have a great weekend.
Nice job.